Welcome back to Intuitive Energies. My name is Jane and I will be doing another reading for you today. This says, I understand the rules of the game of life. This image brings about for me a lot of seeing of somebody who is hanging onto a tree but looking at the brilliant colors that are being displayed. Almost like they are there to be seen, but not quite being able to reach them and touch them and making them your own. It's very different from the card that we had on Tuesday, which is I can deliberately reach for joyous thoughts, where this individual is actually reaching and touching the beautiful flowers. I feel that this is how you perceive maybe the way your life used to be. Not being able to actually grab that. So we're going to read the back of it. It says, now that I understand the rules of this game of eternal life, now that I understand the powerful law of attraction and deliberate creation, I can prepave, segment by segment, my life experience into becoming the allower I was born to be, for I was destined to a life of fulfillment and never-ending joy. The biggest lesson here, Pisces, that I find is between the human brain and the spiritual brain. We do have different types of vibrations that come in. We're very familiar with the human brain. The human brain is the one that sets boundaries, limitations, tells us go, stay, all of that stuff. The spiritual brain, I feel, has more connection to the imagination, to the colors of the world, to reaching those goals one at a time in a vibration of allowing. So I think that your future, or what you're going through right now, is you're realizing that not only can you see these or imagine them, you can also touch them and reach them. No longer the observer, no longer just the person witnessing these things. So we're going to take a further look at this as we go. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a supporter of the channel. If it's your first time here, if you like these, I'll invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And please do put a like, put a comment. I love hearing from you. Thank you to everybody who's already and always been here. We have the Bone Collector. I love this card. Not only is it the first card of this deck, it is the card saying that you have the wisdom of collection of all the things that you need. It talks about everything that you have collected through time that has given you infinite wisdom. And it's also realizing that you are whole within yourself and that you need everything within you to succeed. Everything to finally reach up for these beautiful flowers and touch them and make them your own. And also asking you to look really closely around you to see if you're fully present or understanding whether you're reacting to your past, how things were taught to you with the physical brain, or are you now acting in a way that's more of a spiritual brain. Okay? When we're wounded, when we're young, when we're taught all kinds of different things, we really stick to those lessons. We really hold on to them for dear life. It's very hard to unlearn this stuff. But there is a reason for it, because some of it, or a lot of it, can be very, it can have a purpose, so it's purposeful in your life. Okay. The idea here is that we need to start adapting to the spiritual brain. Okay? And we need to let go of the physical brain that is influenced us by a perception of limitations, of what we can and can't do. Because a lot of that stems from feeling unworthy or without courage. You may have felt like you were flawed or unlovable, or expect to be criticized, which is even worse. It's defeating yourself before you even go forward. And you are a very powerful being with limitless possibilities. And this bone collector is spirit, your inner self, the one who knows the truth. She has kept safe what you may have forgotten or what it may have been stolen in the wounding. And it's time for you to reclaim it and to live by it. You have everything you believe you lack. And the bone collector, that's the inner resources that you may not be using but always have access to. Anything is possible. And with awareness of this, you can heal the wounds of the past, and they don't need to define you anymore. So I'm going to pull some tarot with this. So we're going to look deeper into this. The moon. If I can recall, yesterday the moon came in reverse. It came in upright, I mean. And today it's coming in reverse. So this deception has been lifted. You are now aware that the illusion was just that, an illusion. You have all you need. Everything is available for you. But you must embrace the spiritual brain, the one that lets you believe that things come from ideas. I like to remind people that to the past people, they would have told you it's impossible. All the things that we have today, 50 years ago, would have been called impossible, maybe even voodoo. Now, it is very possible. So before you defeat yourself or deceive yourself into thinking that whatever you're thinking right now is impossible, you have to be reminded that at one point a lot of things were. And now, when that veil was lifted and the impossible became possible, it suddenly wasn't an illusion any longer, right? So you really have to confront the mind in this way. It's great at keeping you safe, especially when you're younger, at keeping you out of danger, of telling you what the facts are, the facts that you can see today in front of you right now, what you're looking at. It's very good at putting things in order. But I've always said that you have to be careful when you let it take over and then tell you what to do. It's not always a good thing. You need to have a balance of all the other energies. It's almost like a group of people, right? Two of Pentacles coming in. A balance. A juggling of other energies that need to be involved in these decisions that you're making, because if they're not, suddenly you have just one energy or one like the air sign of the brain just taking over and making decisions that is not in balance with the rest of you. There's a lot more at work than just the logic side of the brain. You need all the different energies to intermingle together to make a fair and accurate assessment, and to constantly be looking at things over and over and readdressing them. Things are not always so clear-cut and completely in line. It is very much of a focus. You very much feel like a focus when you're walking the spiritual life that you have here, but that there's many components that are coming together to make that happen. And none of them are just about the mind, because if it would have been just about the mind, spirituality would not exist. It would not exist. So keep more than one energy in the air. That is one of the greatest things that they can give you as advice. When you feel like you're too much of the mind, make sure that you keep, and the Page of Swords, of course. The Illusion. With the Moon card, the Page of Swords, the Illusion. All I'm hearing is, don't let that brain go out on its own. In other words, it's like a child. Don't let it go out on its own. You don't want that to happen. Bad things can happen to the brain. Don't let it go out all by itself. In other words, it can lead you astray. It can gossip you. It can talk you out of things that you really don't want to be. It can talk you, like in this picture right here, the one that we saw. It can talk you out of those beautiful colors. Instead of starting with these, or getting a ladder or somebody to help you up to get these, you're just standing there going, it's impossible for me to get this. And the brain would be correct. Where you're standing right at the moment, it is absolutely impossible. You're not tall enough. But there are other things that you can do to make it possible. That's the important part. That's the thing you have to remind yourself of. Okay? It's to break away from that past way of thinking. Queen of Swords. Lady of Clarity. I love the Lady of Clarity. She gives us a lot to think about. She does. She's very smart. The thing with the Lady of Clarity is that she has a lot of luggage. She has been hurt. She has had sorrow. She has a lot of experience. No surprise that she comes under the Bone Collector. The Bone Collector is the one who collects all the things, all the experiences that happen in your life. But the difference between the Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords is I find that the Page of Swords will come out with reasons for you not to do things because of the inexperience of mind. And the fear. The fear. You're young, you're fearful. The Queen has experience, so she may show a light, and she's better at critical thinking for solutions. She may actually think there's a ladder, and that's a possibility. Absolutely. There may be a different way to go and get those flowers if we need them, to pick them. She may even go one further and say those flowers are good for something, because she's a critical thinker. She has experience. She's very self-aware, and she's clear communicating, very truthful with herself. So there are assets to the physical brain. I'm not saying shut it down, absolutely not. Neither does your spiritual self, because it can come into play and it can be very, very useful to you. Just don't let it talk you out of everything that you are dreaming of, everything that may not be in front of you right now, but a possibility in the future. Ooh, I saw the Tower underneath the deck. I don't want the Tower to come out. Perspective, we have the Hangman again. Been seeing it a lot this week, the Hangman. The Hangman has been really shining their light. 12, is it the It is the Hangman. Instead of waiting for transformation, the spiritual brain helps you create the transformation. It helps you get a new perspective on it. It helps you break patterns. It helps you get out of limbo. It helps you shift from being immobile to climbing up to get the fruits and the wonderful things that await you. It helps you observe your environment, but it helps you also plan into a different direction. Right. You're waiting for transformation here, and then transformation comes. By engaging the spiritual brain, you're actually taking the steps needed to move forward into the place that you need to go, so that you can transition into the new phase, into the profound changes. You sever ties with the past on how you did things, so that you can renew yourself and regenerate and shoot out like a phoenix, one that has new solutions to problems. Two of Swords. Love the fact that all these swords are coming out. All of this mind thing. Two Swords right underneath the Page of Swords. Even if you're new at this, even if you've just started using the power of the spiritual brain and the power of the physical brain has been holding you back, these are just temporary delays. The Two of Swords is a little standstill. And it's only because you're not trusting yourself. Because you think you don't have all the facts. But you do. You do. You don't have all the facts for the physical brain, but you have all the facts. The Bone Collector has all the information you need for you to move forward. Utilizing the brain, the spirit, your emotions, your passion, and your groundedness. Underneath the deck you have the Fool. This is a brand new adventure for you, Pisces. And in it is a beautiful wheel, just like the Wheel of Fortune, showing you that there is wondrous things that await you when you start understanding the game of life and what it's meant to be for you, what you're meant to be doing with it, how you can attract things, how you are eternal, that your spirit is in a human body. It's time to start trusting the spirit more and more and tapping into it as much as you can every time you can. It's there to serve a purpose. It's there for you to help you move forward. It's helped to break down the boundaries and really open up where there were limitations before. I thank you so much for coming. I thank you for listening to the reading. And I'm going to send you a lot of love, light, and blessings. And I'm going to close this reading out for today. I do more than one a day, so I hope to see you in the next one. Take care, Pisces.